he stepped up and said exactly what he felt about not being able to advocate a Muslim as president. And I think there are a lot of people who are out there who heard that and said, you know what, I couldn't either. His mistake was that he quoted the Constitution, or right. Chuck Todd led him into the constitutionality of the idea, and he did. He blundered that, and he could fix that very easily, saying, I didn't really understand the question or the Article 6 of the Constitution. That aside, he could still come back with the original part of his idea was that because in Islam, Sharia law supersedes governing law. And unless you're willing to denounce Sharia law as the governing law over yourself and anyone you oversee, I wouldn't vote for a Muslim either. If there was a Muslim who I loved as a president and he wasn't willing to denounce the fact that Sharia law supersedes the Constitution, you're going to say the Constitution's over the Sharia law.
You wouldn't vote for.
Oh, that is delicious. So let's think about this. Eric Bolling is saying, I wouldn't vote for a Muslim unless they say, of course I denounce Sharia law. All right, I agree with that 100%. 100%. I mean, I think it's a given that if somebody like Keith Ellison runs for president, of course he's not going to try to implement Sharia law. Don't be ridiculous. I think the overwhelming majority of American Muslims would never want to do something like that. But that's his argument. Hey, I'm not going to vote for them unless they say I distance myself and I don't agree with Sharia law. Fair. I agree with that, Eric. Want to take it one step further here, buddy? Or not? I shouldn't even say one step further because it's not a step further. Want to apply the same standard to Christianity here? You know, I'm not going to vote for a Christian unless they swear they're not going to make policy decisions based on biblical law and based on God or their faith. I would vote for a Christian, but they first have to say, of course I'm not going to make decisions based on the Bible, my holy book, my faith, or Christian law. I'm just not going to do that. See, that's where he starts to go, whoa, wait, what? No, when I said the person needs to distance themselves from their faith, I'm only talking about the other. I'm only talking about Muslims. When it comes to Christians, well, would Eric Bolling want that test for Christians? Would Eric Bolling want Christians to say, I don't believe in biblical law before they run for office? No, of course he wouldn't. You want to know why? Because he agrees with it. That's why. This is the same fucking network that was just defending Kim Davis, keeping gay marriage licenses away from gay people 24/7. All they did was defend Kim Davis all day long and talk about how, well, she's a hero. Well, she's standing up for her beliefs, and it's her right to stand up for her God, and she says, these are my beliefs, I can't violate my beliefs. Then the second you take out the word Christian, put in the word Muslim, all of a sudden they're like, this is unbelievable. Can you believe that they want to make decisions based on their belief and their faith and their holy book? You can't make decisions based on God. Well, you got to be civilized here. Secularism. We got to separate mosque and state, man. Come on, let's be serious. So they flip the standard based on what religion you're talking about, which is why intellectually I respect none of these people. None of these people. Guys, it's one thing if you disagree with me and you're consistent in your disagreement and you have standards and principles that you argue based off of. I love those debates. I love those conversations. I've had them before. I'll have them again. Libertarians, for example, I disagree with them, but they're principled. They're coming from a particular place and they're not going to contradict themselves. But when you talk about somebody like Eric Bolling and the Fox News idiots and they start talking about faith, it all comes down to, is it the faith I was born into? Is it the faith that mommy and daddy taught me? Is it the voodoo nonsense bullshit fairy tale stories that were pumped into my head? Because if that's the conversation that we're having, then I want to be able to rule over everybody in society based on my God. But if it's the other, if it's a different religion, well, come on now, let's be reasonable. They got to distance themselves from Sharia. No, Eric, here's the way it should work. You ready for this? Yes, any Muslim president should absolutely have to say, and they should believe, of course I'm not going to advocate Sharia. This is politics. Politics is separate from religion. I'm 100% on that page. But I'm also 100% on that page for Christians, and you're not. I'm on the page for Christians where they should say, I'm not Rick Santorum. I'm not Mike Huckabee. I don't want the Christian Saudi Arabia. I'm going to allow gays to get married. I'm going to be in favor of secularism. I'm going to be in favor of civil liberties. I'm going to be in favor of reproductive rights. They should have to say all those things and believe in all those things, but you don't agree with that because you change the standard when it's fucking convenient for you, and that's why you're a joke.